30 days is a long enough time to see real results or real problems. I've seen a lot of online methods that promise quick wins, fast money, or guaranteed results, and honestly, most of them don't tell you what actually happens when you stick with them day after day. So in this video, I want to share a real experience. I followed one online method consistently for 30 days, without skipping steps or jumping to something new. I'll walk you through what it was like at the start, what changed along the way, and what the results looked like at the end, both the good and the frustrating parts. Before we get into the details, if you like honest breakdowns and real experiments instead of hype, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos like this. What exactly is this method? Okay, so the method I'm talking about is called the 2-hour focus block technique. Basically, the idea is that you pick your most important task every single day and dedicate 2 uninterrupted hours to it first thing in the morning. No phone, no emails, no distractions whatsoever. Just you and that one task. The creator claims this approach helps you accomplish more in those 2 hours than most people do in an entire day. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the thing, it requires serious commitment. You have to wake up, skip checking social media, which, let's be honest, is the first thing most of us do, and dive straight into deep work. I was skeptical at first because I tried morning routines before and they never really stuck. But something about this felt different, maybe because it was so specific and time-bound. Week 1 was absolutely brutal. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. The first week was rough, really rough. My body was not used to this kind of intense focus right after waking up. I'd set my alarm earlier than usual, stumble to my desk with coffee, and try to work on my most important task. But my brain felt like it was moving through mud. I kept wanting to check my phone, scroll through messages, basically do anything except the actual work. The method says you're supposed to put your phone in another room, which I did, but I still felt that phantom buzz in my pocket. It was almost funny how addicted I realized I was to constant stimulation. By day 3, I almost quit. I remember thinking this is impossible. My brain just doesn't work like this. But I pushed through because I committed to the full 30 days. Looking back, that decision to keep going was crucial. Something clicked in week 2. Then something interesting started happening around day 8 or 9. My brain began to adapt. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. The resistance I felt in week 1 started to fade. I'd wake up, and instead of dreading those 2 hours, I actually felt ready for them. My focus improved dramatically. Tasks that would normally take me 3 or 4 hours with constant interruptions, I was finishing in those focused 2 hours. I started seeing real progress on projects I've been putting off for months. It felt incredible, like I'd unlocked a superpower I didn't know I had. The key was consistency. By showing up every single day at the same time, my brain learned this is work time, not distraction time. I also noticed I was less tired throughout the day. Turns out when you're not constantly context switching between tasks, you actually conserve mental energy. The challenges nobody talks about. Now here's what most people promoting this method don't mention. It's socially isolating, at least at first. I had to tell my family and friends not to message or call me during my focus block. Some people understood, others thought I was being ridiculous. There were mornings when something urgent came up, and I had to decide whether to break my rule or stick with it. A few times I broke it, and honestly, those days felt off afterward. Once you let one distraction in, it's like opening the floodgates. Also, this method assumes you have control over your mornings, which not everyone does. If you have kids, if you work night shifts, if you have early meetings, you'll need to adapt it. I'm fortunate that I could restructure my mornings, but I recognize that's a privilege not everyone has. Another challenge was choosing the right task. Some days I'd pick something that I thought was important, but midway through I'd realize I should have worked on something else. That felt frustrating, like I wasted my focus block. Physical and mental changes I noticed. Beyond just productivity, I started noticing other changes too. My sleep improved because I was mentally exhausted in a good way by evening. Before this, I'd stay up late scrolling my phone because my brain wasn't tired enough to sleep. but after consistently doing deep work every morning, I was ready for bed earlier and sleeping more soundly. I also felt less anxious. This was unexpected. I think it's because I was making tangible progress on things that mattered to me instead of just reacting to whatever came up during the day. That sense of control over my time reduced a lot of background stress I didn't even realize I was carrying. Physically, I felt more energized. Starting the day with accomplishment instead of mindless scrolling set a positive tone that carried through. I was eating better, exercising more, just generally taking better care of myself. It's like one good habit created a ripple effect. What I learned about myself. This experiment taught me something important about how I work. I've always thought of myself as someone who thrives on variety and multitasking. But this method proved that wrong. I actually perform way better with singular focus and clear boundaries. All those years of bouncing between tasks, I thought I was being productive, but really I was just busy. There's a huge difference. I also learned that I can do hard things if I commit fully. That first week when I wanted to quit, pushing through built resilience I didn't know I had. Now when I face other challenges, I remember this experiment and think, if I could do that for 30 days, I can do this too. Another realization was how much time I was wasting on things that didn't matter. Email, social media, random internet browsing, they were eating up hours of my life without giving anything meaningful back. This method forced me to confront that and make different choices. Would I recommend this method? So after 30 days, here's my honest take. Yes, I'd recommend this method, but with some caveats. If you're someone who struggles with focus, who feels like you're always busy, but never accomplishing anything important, this could be life-changing for you. It was for me. But you have to be realistic about the adjustment period. It's not easy at first, and you need to give yourself grace during those initial rough days. Also, you might need to modify it to fit your life. Maybe 2 hours is too much to start with, so try 1 hour. Maybe mornings don't work for you, so pick another time when you have energy and fewer obligations. The core principle is what matters: dedicated, uninterrupted time on your most important work. How you implement that can be flexible. One thing I'd add is to prepare the night before. Decide when your focused task will be so you're not wasting precious morning minutes figuring it out. Have your workspace ready, your coffee made. Everything set up to minimize friction. My results after 30 days. Let me get specific about what I actually accomplished in just 30 days of focused morning sessions. It's pretty surprising when I look back. First, I finally finished writing a project proposal that I've been avoiding for 2 months. That alone had been hanging over my head, creating unnecessary stress. I also completed an online course I had started 6 months ago and never finished, which was a small but important step toward building new skills. Beyond that, I tackled my digital clutter. I organized and cleaned out my entire digital workspace. It sounds boring, but the impact on my daily efficiency was massive. My files were finely structured, my tools were optimized, and I wasted far less time searching for things. I also read 4 books cover to cover, something I hadn't done consistently in months, and I began learning a new skill I've been wanting to explore but never had the time for. All of this happened before most people even started their workday. And here's the best part. I still had the rest of my day to handle everything else. Emails, meetings, regular work responsibilities. It all still got done. I didn't have to sacrifice my main workload. I just replaced wasted time with focused, high-impact action. In fact, my efficiency for the rest of the day actually improved because I was starting from a place of accomplishment rather than distraction. When I look at that list, I'm honestly amazed. These weren't small tasks or check-the-box items. They were meaningful projects that genuinely moved my life forward. Looking back on these 30 days, the biggest lesson wasn't just about money or results. It was about consistency and expectations. Some things worked better than I expected, others didn't, but sticking with one method taught me more than jumping between 10 different ideas ever could. I'm curious, would you try something like this for 30 days? Or have you already tested a method and learned something from it? Share your experience in the comments. Those conversations are always valuable. If this video helped you think more clearly about online methods and long-term effort, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's considering trying something similar. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.